Sarah, a tutor at Accountancy Learning, and in this video I will take you through the AAT Level 3 Business Awareness Sample Paper 2 Task 7. So Task 7 is all about risk and big data. The first part is to identify which department will require the Finance Department report detailed in the table below. So this is going to be a report that the Finance Department create. So overtime hours for operational staff. So that report is going to be used by the Human Resources Department. So it's staff related. They would need to see the overtime that staff are doing. So the finance report would go to HR. Standard production unit cost. So that's all about the production of our goods. So the production department would be interested in that. And then cash flow forecast. So this is about how much cash have we got, what cash have we got coming in and what cash is going out. And the people that would be most interested in that is going to be the senior management team. So they can identify if there's going to be any problems going forwards in terms of how much cash the business has got. Part B, identify which approach to managing risk would be most appropriate for a chemicals manufacturer where there is a risk of large fine if any waste contaminates local waterways. So this is a chemicals manufacturer, so the business is making the chemicals. So do we transfer the risk to a third party? Do we just avoid producing chemicals? Do we reduce the risk by implementing additional operational control procedures? Or do we just accept the risk and allow for the fine as part of the expected business costs? Well, we certainly can't avoid the production of chemicals because that's the business in itself. We really shouldn't just be accepting this risk because it's a large fine. And we can't really keep putting that into our costs. And not only that, but it would not be a good reputation of the business if we just said, oh, we'll just pay the fine and allow the waste to contaminate the local waterways. So we wouldn't be popular with the general public. In terms of this being actually our business that we're doing, we need to make sure that we are looking at reducing the risk. So we can't transfer the risk to a third party because it's our production. But we can reduce the risk by implementing additional operational control procedures. So what can we do to make sure that the waste doesn't contaminate local waterways? The next question is complete the following statement. The production manager leaving the business to join a competitor is an example of, and we need to decide between strategic risk, operational risk or financial risk. So it's the production manager leaving the business. So the production manager is very much involved in the day-to-day running of the business. You know, how is the production line performing? So it's going to be very much an operational risk because if the production manager is to leave, it could cause the production lines to be impacted, who's overseeing it, what kind of skills and knowledge have they taken out of the business, and they're then taking that into the competitor. So it's going to be an operational risk. Next one, identify which one of the following is not a characteristic of big data. So we've got our V's, so we know that we've got 3 V's of big data, and they are volume, variety and velocity. So vast is not a character of big data. So do remember to read these questions carefully. Otherwise it might be tempting just to tick one that you know is a characteristic, but we're actually looking for what isn't a characteristic. Now we're given a little bit of information. So a luxury hotel business has a number of hotels around the world. The hotels are either spa hotels or adventure holiday hotels. The hotel collects data from its booking systems for all customers and it includes the adventure activities and spa treatments they book, the length of their stay, and details of any extras that they've purchased while at the hotel. This includes the food from the hotel restaurant and the hotel shop. The hotel will also use data collected by the hotel industry regulator to understand the market demand in different locations. Data will also be purchased from a specialist company who provide leisure and tourism surveys to a sample of the population using social media platforms. Remember, you can bring this up on the right hand side in the references section if you want to have this on screen while you're answering the questions. So the first bit is a true or false section. So the detailed information provided by the data collected by the booking system is most useful for the strategic level within the organisation. So let's just pick apart that question. It's the detailed information by the booking system for the strategic level. So do those three things match? Well, the strategic level isn't going to be interested in the finer details of everything. So this is false. Because it's with the booking system, it gives us data on the activities and the treatment, the length, extras, food, shop. So that's more likely to be around the operational level, so they know what customers are coming for, how long they're coming for, and what extras they want as well. One of the drawbacks of using data collected by the hotel industry regulator is the high volume of data won't allow patterns of behaviour to be established. So this is false because patterns can always be found in data. So if there is a pattern or if there is a trend, there's various analysis work that can be done in order to find those patterns. It might not be quick, but you can still do it. The responses to the surveys will be accurate, reliable information to support decisions about the services to offer at the hotels. So let's remind ourselves about these surveys. So we're purchasing it from a specialist company. They do leisure and tourism surveys, so that matches with our industry. And it's going to the population using social media platforms. So are they going to be accurate and reliable in order to support decisions about the services to offer at hotels? Well, no, they're not, because they're not necessarily accurate, because people can lie on surveys. And also using social media means that it's not necessarily the most reliable way of getting information, because it's going through a vast number of channels and could be answered by quite a lot of people. Identify which 2 ways internal big data will support the hotel business. So we're looking for 2 ways. Understanding the customer experience so improvements can be focused. So we're looking at what information will big data give us. So it will help us understand the customer experience, and then we can develop our services and offerings from there. Gaining a clearer understanding of competitors' services. Well, it's internal. So this isn't going to be competitors. Competitors would be some sort of external data. So it's not going to be that one. Anticipating hotel capacity to manage staff and other resources effectively. Yep, the data will make sure that we know what's going to happen, make sure we know how many people are staying in the hotel, and therefore we can have enough staff on hand and make sure everything else is available as well. So there are 2 answers, but understanding the size of the hotel industry, again, this is going to be more about external data rather than internal. And then the final question in this task, the payroll manager has asked for an additional total to be added to the payroll summary sheet to show the total net pay for all employees in the batch, so this can be checked with the system total when batch is input. Complete the following statement. The addition of this total will help to ensure this information is. So we are effectively doing a sort of form of reconciliation here. So does the total match the system? So if it didn't match, then there would be something missing. So this is to ensure that the information is complete. And with that, that brings us to the end of task 7.